And hello, Theresa. It's so good to see you.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me on Essential Stories. This is going to be fun. Theresa and I have known each other for a long time. You're in sunny Florida. How's it going today?
Oh my gosh, it's 60 some degrees here and it is sunny. It's beautiful.
Oh, that is perfect weather. That is perfect weather. Well, we're not going to ask you any weather questions because we know the kind of weather that you like for sure. Although, actually, I see a question here that might be kind of fun. We always start off our interviews trying to get to know our guests just by giving them a little this or that question. So, the first question I have for you is, would you prefer to never ever get a cold again or never be stuck in traffic again?
Never get a cold again.
Never get a cold again. All right. Uh, all right. Would you rather be in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney?
George Clooney.
George Clooney. Would you rather never eat Christmas cookies ever again or
Ooh,
never eat Halloween candy ever again?
Halloween candy.
Halloween candy. Um, would you rather lose your long-term memory or your short-term memory?
Hmm. There are benefits and not benefits to both.
Right.
Um, I think long term.
Long term. Okay. Live in the moment.
Yes.
Okay. I love it.
That way I can't be upset at anybody for something they did yesterday.
Because you don't remember. I know. They're that would probably make things easier.
Yeah.
All right. Superpowers. Would you rather be able to be invisible or able to fly?
Fly.
I kind of thought you'd say that. All right.
I'm already kind of invisible, so
Oh, I don't think so. Look, you have this big audience now. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say. Here's one more. Last one. Would you rather have one wish granted today or 10 wishes granted 20 years from now?
one today.
One today. Love it. She's a live in the moment girl. That's what we're getting from Theresa. And we're going to live in the moment, but we're going to do our first question actually is going to go back into the past. So we're glad you haven't lost your long term memory. And I want you to think back. Doesn't have to do with a particular company or brand. Just what was your first memory of using an essential oil?
My dad got sick and we didn't have a lot of answers for that or anything outside of conventional treatment.
Uh huh.
And I'm gonna grab anything that I can grab.
Okay. And do you
So
remember?
we grabbed frankincense. It
Yeah.
was frankincense.
Okay.
And I think it was too little too late, and I didn't have enough knowledge to be able to do it as well as I might do it today.
Okay.
But that was my introduction to oils.
And who shared with you?
A woman in another company,
Okay.
and yeah, actually, she was somebody else that I knew her, and she's
Okay.
like, you might want to try this. So yeah.
So you putting out like were you asking around like my dad's really sick and I need help. Does anyone know anything that can help him? Or how did that a whole situation even occur?
Well, there was a woman in my church who was praying for, our family and my dad.
Okay.
And she knew this other woman who did essential oils. And
Yeah.
she's like, let me just introduce you and see what happens.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Because I think sometimes people want to know, like, how did these oils even fall into your lap? And then the question is, like, how do you talk to other people about it? This sort of, it's so interesting to me. Like everybody's story is so unique and so different. So frankincense is beautiful oil. What else would you use today? I'm just curious. Like if you would add
DDR prime.
DDR Prime. Okay. DDR Prime.
Yeah.
One of my
Heavy
favorites.
duty. Like bottles and bottles and
Bottles and
bottles of it.
bottles and bottles of it. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So we're going to get on a magic time machine ship and we're going to fly into the future because we know that there was a lot that happened probably between your first oil experience and where you are now. But somewhere along the lines, someone talked to you about doTERRA. So tell me about your first memory of doTERRA. Was it a wow experience? Was it a curiosity? Like, how did you find out about doTERRA?
Well, so I had been part of this other oil company
Hmm.
that you know very well.
Yeah.
And and I knew Elena Jordan, who's been one of your other past guests.
Yeah.
And and I'm a follower. I'm one of these people. I'm not one of the people that you introduce something to and I'm like, wait, I've got to go research this. This is, I'm the sure, I'll try it. What the heck, girl?
Okay.
You know. And so I trusted Elena and I trusted you because you guys are the gurus of researching things.
Uh-huh.
And so when you decided to pivot into doTERRA, I'm like, I'm gonna go that way because I trust these ladies, and there here I am.
I love that. Do you remember your first like wow experience? Like, was there a product that you remember early on that was like, oh, this is different, or I really like this, or that got
Well,
your
I
attention?
I think the product that still like surprises me,
Oh,
even though it shouldn't, is DigestZen.
that's so funny.
Because
Okay.
it works and it works fast. I love the other oils, but if I'm using On Guard, it's to ward something off
Right.
or to, take care of something that I already have and maybe it takes 24 hours,
Okay.
right? But if I'm using DigestZen, it's instant.
Okay.
It's a quick fix.
I love it. I hear a lot of people talk about Judge Judson, and I hear a lot of people talk about Deep Blue. So,
Yes.
and I think one of the
I
big,
don't work out. I don't work out.
that's
So
not
the
your
deep blood,
that's not your go-to. And I don't think you experience a lot of pain, right? We've talked about this before. Like that's not one of your problems that
yeah.
you have to deal with. So that's great. I mean, living a pain-free life is a way to go. That's what we want for everybody, for sure. All right, so let's flip the coin. Is there an oil that you're like, I can't stand that. It smells bad. I don't care how great it is. I'm not using it.
Spikenard.
It's spiking up. And that's a Bible oil too.
I know, but it is nasty.
It's,
It is just so bad.
I always say to
It's like,
people that spikenard is like anesthesia, and it's a good thing because you want to be out when you smell it. I know. So not everything in life that's good for us is appealing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I totally understand that. I totally understand that.
There's got to be another oil that does the same thing that smells better. Just got to be.
Yeah. So like what's your calming oil? Like that's really what it's known for is like its ability to really calm the body and help, soothe the skin and, take away any kind of irritation or discomfort. So where do you go? You're not going to Spikenard. Where are you going for that?
No, no. Well, calming oils balance.
Ah, okay.
Balance is just, I mean, I love all of the emotional oils. There's a lot of them that I could go to very easily. But
Okay.
if you're just like a general overall calming oil, I love balance.
Now, do you carry it with you or like how do you manage your oils? Do you have them in one spot in your house or you have a little bag you carry? What do you do to make sure you can get to your
All of
oil?
the above.
Okay.
So my morning routine, I it's like I've got all of these oils. So, and part of my routine is thank you very much, Carrie Donegan.
Oh,
But so I get out of the shower and I put frankincense, grapefruit, and Metapower underneath the tongue and spritz my face with one of the toners.
okay.
Right now, the rose one. And then I move over, and because I've used frankincense, it's like, oh, use frankincense. So I put frankincense around my eyes because I'm trying to hopefully deter some cataracts. And
Okay.
then I follow it up with some rose oil. So frankincense and rose here. Well, if I got rose here, I'm going to put rose on my heart,
Oh,
along with some ylang ylang, right? So I'm there. And then if I'm right above my heart, I've got to use some Immortelle to take care of any potential hazardous things coming my way.
okay.
So I do that. And then I do cheer and aroma touch on my back. I
Okay.
what is it? What is it? Where
Your
you know what
adrenals,
I mean?
over your adrenals. Yeah.
Adrenals. There you go.
Yeah.
And then from there, I go to my toes and my feet with balance and with blue tansy. And
Nice.
then the blue tansy then goes on my liver.
Okay.
And then I take a drop of Melissa and put it on the roof of my mouth.
Wow.
And then from there, I've taken Metapower and I put it in a 4-ounce bottle of fractionated coconut oil and I rub it all over my parts.
I love that. I love that. And for those
So
people who don't know, MetaPower is a great metabolic stabilizer. So if you need to like increase your metabolism or you're trying to burn fat or detox or just, maintain a healthy metabolic state, good for your skin, your heart, your lungs, it's really overall an amazing. So that's why it goes all over, right? Because it's
yeah, yeah,
good for all over. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice. Wow. Well, you definitely have given the most intricate protocol, and I love that you kind of go head to toe. And I like that like one oil reminds you to use the next oil to use the next oil
Yeah.
because otherwise I think it'd be confusing, but that's great. So if you were like if I opened your purse right now, what would I find? Would I find an oil in there?
Yes. Shinrin Yoku.
Shinrin Yoku. All right.
I love the way it smells. It's fresh, it's clean, it's not masculine or feminine.
No?
It's just a wonderful. So I have that for sure.
The
And then I have
forest
a bunch
bathing
of
oil. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I have balance and then I have the floral oils because I just love the floral oils.
I love that. Is there like a group of oils like citrus, mint, spices, florals that you're like, nah, I leave those alone?
Um
Or do you like to
prob-
dabble in a little bit of all of them?
Probably the spices. The
Okay.
spices are my least.
Okay.
Um I think florals and citruses are both wonderful, but the mints are great,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes the trees are fun.
All right. Yeah. So then I mean there's a lot of variety in oils. You don't get bored, right?
No, not at all.
Now, I know you really well, so I can share this. You have like a warm, loving heart. You're super generous with other people. You're super easy to talk to, and I know you love community. When Theresa first moved down to Florida, it was so fun because like I would always call her, and she's in Panera Bread, and we're having a conversation. She's talking to somebody, and I'm thinking, oh wow, you have all these friends. She goes, no, I just met them. They were there just in the restaurant. So, talk to me about your passion for sharing because I know that in your, concern for other people and how you relate to people, oils come up. So, what started that? Like, like you could have just, used them for your own personal use and stayed quiet.
Uh, well, if you look at our strengths, right, and we
Yeah.
do things with our strengths, four of my five top strengths are relational.
Okay.
So relationships are very important to me. And I talk to people whether I know them or not. I'm a little crazy, I'm like I'm the hey, how are you doing, lady? And so just sharing is pretty easy as far as that goes. I know that I could be better at it, but it's easy for me to just like lean in and listen. And I mean, I was at one of my small groups a few months ago, and I wasn't part of the conversation, but
Okay.
the ladies were talking about toothpaste and finding a toothpaste without all of the crap in it, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't say anything. I just kind of tucked that in my hat. And then for Christmas, I came back to them with tubes of toothpaste and I said, here, Merry Christmas. Here's some toothpaste. And at least one of them has said, I really like your toothpaste. So
Oh, I bet they were surprised that you remember that conversation.
I'm not sure they remembered the conversation.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that. That's so funny. I know, like, oh, you're giving me toothpaste.
Yeah. Or I'll see somebody with a glucose monitor on
Yeah.
and I'll
Lots
say,
of those these
what are you
days.
wearing it for?
Yeah.
Right? What are you wearing it for? What are you doing for whatever you're wearing it for?
Yeah.
And, would you be open to maybe hearing about something else?
I love that. Yeah, that's a big problem right now that I think it would be great if we could, help more people with that for sure. And there's a lot of diet and oil solutions when it comes to balancing blood sugar and just getting into shape and having more energy and longevity. Yeah. Lots of really, really good things. Can you think of like a special person that you had the privilege of helping, like an instance? You don't have to name names or you don't even have to talk about, like all the details, but like you think sometimes at night that, gosh, if I didn't help that person, it really would have made a big difference in their life. Like it really did make a difference in their life.
Well, my husband is my guinea pig,
Uh,
right?
yeah.
So when I started getting into doTERRA, he would say, she's a witch, she's a witch. You know, because it's like, what I don't, we don't know anything about oils. You don't know anything about oils because, I'm not like Carrie and I study everything. So, this is just craziness, total craziness. And he had varicose vein surgery, which is really crazy surgery. They like cut you here and cut you here and like pull
Oh,
out
yeah.
varicose veins. And my husband had calves that were ginormous, and a lot of it was with the veins. And it usually takes an elephant tranquilizer to make sure that he isn't in pain. And he came with me to Washington to a doTERRA event that I didn't really want him at
Yeah.
because, of course, I was a witch. Um,
Oh,
you know, and but he was like, "Do you have anything that will help me with this pain?" And I had all the oils that I owned with me. Now, I didn't really know what to do with them.
okay.
I didn't know.
Okay.
But I grabbed my frankincense because it's good for everything. I grabbed my lavender because it's also very good for everything. I grabbed my heliochrysum because I knew that it was good for blood stuff. And deep blue is good for pain.
Okay.
So I took those and I like up and down his leg, and he could go for 5 hours, 5 hours
Wow.
without a pain pill. And he was like, this is incredible. So I stopped being a witch.
Okay. That was the moment. That was the moment where you lost your nickname and
Yeah.
started to sound, like a good thing.
Yeah. So I
I
think
love
it's
that.
one of those things where just get them on people.
Yeah. And you know what? To your credit, give them time to learn about them, to have an experience, to understand them. Don't be afraid if they call you a witch, I guess. Although hopefully strangers won't do that. But yeah, let the course kind of, don't push things, right? Because they'll come
Yeah.
around eventually. The oils will
Yeah.
speak for themselves. Yeah. No, that's great. And I think we are motivated when it's someone super close to us, like a family member, right? Like
Yeah.
we just want to see them healthy and happy and out of pain, and then we realize that's important for other people and their families too, right? So you want to get those
It's,
oils into all those houses so that everybody can
yeah.
start using them.
It gave me credibility in my own home, which
Yeah,
was important. My doTERRA journey would have been much different if my husband still didn't believe in the oils.
yeah. Oh, 100%. It's really hard to do something when people at home
Yeah.
are, not on the same page. Yeah, definitely. Do you have any other like favorite doTERRA memories, maybe related to an event that you went to, or someone that you got to meet that doTERRA, like doTERRA provides things outside of health, right? Benefits for us, things that, you know, options to meet individuals we would never have met, make friends with people we never would have met, learn from people, listen to speakers, whether on Zoom or in person. Like, can you think of something that just kind of stands out as like, wow, that was kind of cool?
Well, doTERRA always has great speakers. And so it's fun to listen to them. But one of the top leaders in doTERRA, Eric Larson, he looks like Richard Gere.
He
He's
does.
just amazing. And I was stuck at a hotel. I needed to get to an event, and my rickshaw wasn't coming. And Eric Larson was there with his car, and I'm like, "Hey, Eric," he didn't know me from anybody. But I said, "Eric, by any chance could you give me and my friend a ride?" And he's like, "Sure, get in."
Oh,
And he was just the nicest person. Like I said, he didn't know me from anybody, but he pretended he did. And he was just wonderful. And it's nice to know that there's there's not big heads at the top,
yeah.
that really are kind hearts.
Yeah, there's a genuineness that comes through from the leadership to the customer service people, right? To the
Yeah.
account managers, to the people that work in the packing facilities. And yeah, I really feel like everywhere we go, there's like this doTERRA vibe, right? And then you just meet
Yeah.
people and you go, oh, you're doTERRA, right? I can tell. I can tell. No, it's really cool. So you went through a lot of your protocol, which is fun. I'm going to limit you to 5 products. And maybe I could guess them based on what you said, but I want to hear your answer. What would they be?
Um, yeah, I think you probably could guess them. So I didn't touch on the probiotics. Our
Okay.
probiotics are wonderful, and they hit a gamut of target
Yeah.
areas. So being able to take one product and know that it's doing multiple things
Yeah.
is great. And I'm going to be a little raw here, but I love a good poop, right? So it's just
Why?
like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's part of
that was
life, right?
amazing.
It's part of health. It's a big part of
Yes.
health, actually.
So the probiotics are great for that plus so much more,
Right.
right? So that would be number one. Whether you use it as a system with the two probiotics or the one, but
Okay.
great. Again, the MetaPower system, because it covers an umbrella of things: hair, skin, nails, blood work, weight, the whole thing.
Sure.
So I'd have to go with that system again.
Yeah.
Sorry. Um, we did talk about the emotional oils, and being a relational person, emotional, stability or being good
Yeah.
is part of it. So balance is my number one. but I love forgive and share and peace if you need it. So,
Oh, that's
so I
beautiful.
love those. The toothpaste. I love that they came out with the mint toothpaste. Like
Okay.
the On Guard is great, but the mint is fabulous.
All right.
Just
So you vote mint. Did you
I
try the
vote mint.
electrolytes yet? If we're voting on flavors, you a lemon lime
Yes,
girl or strawberry girl?
lemon lime,
Lemon lime.
100%,
Okay.
not the strawberry. But I talked to somebody earlier today and they're like, oh no, this other person thinks strawberry. And I'm like, okay,
All right. I know different
I'll take the
flavors,
lemon
different strokes for different folks. I'm all for it. I love that we have variety.
lime. And MetaPower is coming out with the cherry pomegranate flavor.
Yeah.
I,
I can't wait
how great
too.
is
I
that?
know. I was like, what's that going to taste like? I can't
I
wait.
ordered 3 boxes
Oh, good. Well,
just
I
in
know
case
where to
it's a
go
limited
if I
time.
need to try one. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh, well, there's so much I
Uh,
want to talk about, but we're kind of running down the end of our time. We're gonna end it with something I love. It was a show that I watched when I was a kid called The Actor Studio with James Lippman, and he got this routine from past teachers of his as well, and I've adapted mine to my own interest. So I'm going to give you 10 questions, and you're just going to give me a one word answer or phrase. Are you ready?
uh-huh.
All right. Smell, not necessarily oil, that you love. Favorite smell.
Spring flower.
Smell that you hate.
7-day-old roadkill.
Wow. Okay. Very specific. What brings you the greatest sense of peace?
Jesus.
Hmm. What irritates you the most?
Not being heard or understood.
What's your favorite character trait in a human being?
Kindness.
What's your favorite guilty pleasure?
Oh gosh. I'm going to say king crab legs.
Ooh, yum. Okay, on that note, what's the last food you'd like to eat before you pass on?
A sticky bun.
If you had a magic wand and you could eradicate any disease or illness, what's the first disease you would get rid of?
Obesity.
Okay,
There's so many good ones, but I think if we start there, it'll cover some others.
agreed. No question about it. All right, and this is a tricky one. Giving you $500. You can only spend it in one place. Don't break it up or use it, whatever, save it, whatever you want to do with it, but can't break it up. What are you going to do?
I have contemplated this and I mean, I've struggled with it because it's like, am I practical? Am I generous? I'm
Yeah.
going to get a Japanese bidet.
Okay. Wow. That's a cool answer. And the last one. What one word would you like to leave the audience with today?
Grace.
Thanks, Theresa.